Hi, I'd like to talk to you today about how I organise my stamp collection. I've got quite a number of unmounted rubber stamps and a few clear stamps. I had been keeping them in these cassette boxes from Ikea. They've got a little label on the front so that you can mark what it is, and inside I was keeping them in CD cases. The biggest problem I had with these is that I found the cases slightly tough to open and they were constantly breaking, which meant that I was often not using my stamps because I just got annoyed with the cases themselves. What I've done is I've switched over to a folder system for my stamps. What I'm doing is I'm using an A4 sheet of transparency similar to 8.5 by 11, and I'm cutting it into 4 sections, so I end up with a small sheet that's approximately 4 by 6. I'm mounting my stamps onto these, just like this. These are rubber stamps that have a cling mount on them, and they hold really nicely. The reason that I'm using the folders is simply in case some of them fall off whilst I'm rooting through my stamps. The only thing that'll happen is they might fall to the bottom of the pocket. I've got quite a number of quite small stamps and I just don't want to risk losing them. Whilst some of them were in the CD cases, I did lose some of them and I found that really annoying, especially when you lose something important like an E or a 2 in your alphabet stamp. Anyway, so I'm just using these little pockets, and what I'm making those out of are page protectors that hold 4 by 6 inch or 10 by 15 centimeter photographs. They come just like this. This is an A4 sized sheet, and I'm cutting them down so that I end up with one corner that is sealed and the opposite corner that is open, and that way I can literally just slide my little sheet of stamps in, and it's the perfect size because these are meant for 4 by 6, which just happens to work really well when you cut your A4 down into quarters. After that, what I do is I make a little tab divider. I'm just using some cardstock that I knew I really wasn't using. I've got tons of purple cardstock and I never scrap with purple, so I'm using them as tab dividers, basically to reuse or use the cardstock itself. I've put labels on them that indicate what they are, either by theme or the name of the stamp and the company and things like that. For my clear stamps, I have not put them into the sleeves. I may end up deciding to do so eventually, but for the most part, any clear stamps just either they have a back on them which keeps them together, and this sheet just came as is. It fits in really nicely. Most of my clear stamps seem to fit in nicely, and then if I don't have a set that fits nicely, I just make its own sheet. I may decide to put these into folders eventually, but for the moment I'm not worried about it. I wanted to work with my system a little while before I invested more time and effort into it and then decide, it doesn't work. But so far this is working really well for me because I can literally go through and decide, oh, that's the stamp that I want to use, pull it out, take it off, stamp with, and then as soon as I'm done I can put it back. I don't have a lot of room on my workspace whilst I'm scrapbooking and things like that. So these boxes are about as big as I can go. Anything bigger than that and I just would not have a place to put it. So this means that I can easily access my stamps and it's not a hindrance to be able to put them away, and I don't end up with big stacks of stamps at the end, which is actually how I lost some of my stamps when I was using the CD cases, because I just shoved the CD cases somewhere and put my stamps aside and then I'd end up losing them. But so far this is working great for me because it means I can flip through and find the stamps that I need very quickly without much effort. If you can't get pocket pages that have the 4 by 6 photos pockets in them, you can also try CD sleeves. They make little square sleeves for CDs that you can get at office supply places. For me, this was easy to get and they were cheap. They were 25 sheets in a pack for 25 krona. and I got them at my local supermarket in the photograph section, and it meant that I wasn't investing a lot of money into the system, because I don't necessarily want to invest a lot of money into my organisation, but I do want my organisation to work. So far this is working really well for me, and I wanted to show it in case it could work well for anyone else. Thanks for watching.